What's up guys, welcome back to my channel and hope you guys are doing good in this pandemic period. And it's a great Sunday for Manchester United because again Manchester is red again. So Manchester United 2, Manchester City nil, a clean sheet against Ruben Diaz and John Stones against Pep Guardiola's Manchester City, who has been unbeaten, or you can say to be precise, they have been in a winning streak for the past 21 games and they hasn't conceded a goal first for like 29 games or so, and they have been really terrific this season in 2021, unbeaten in 2021. Then comes Manchester United in the confrontation and they put two past them, and without making them comfortable even with 63% possession. So we'll be talking about that game in detail, every biasing things about Manchester United as for usual, at least today in this video. So bear with it. So without wasting any time, let's get this started. So 185th Manchester Derby, and it is always going to be fascinating because irrespective of the league position that we are in, may that be we are first, may that be second, may that be sixth, may that be in relegation, it is always going to be a big game to watch because it's a Manchester Derby, the biggest derby in that English football, you could say, and it's always going to be interesting. And it's not going to be interesting for Pep Guardiola because at the Etihad especially, because Ole has visited 3 times at the Etihad and came away with 9 points, that full 3 games with a 3 win, and Ole will be clapping his hands, will be scratching his hands, saying it's another Etihad, so let's go and perform. So it's going to be like that, and Pep Guardiola will be scratching his head from how to stop this United team. And we were in a bit of a rusty state now because we didn't score a goal for the last 3 games, so that's obviously going to be ridiculous, and 3 draws on the trot in the Premier League, and it is always going to be disappointing. And people, or you could say Ole outlets especially, would be saying that this is the actually the game where we'll be battered 3-0 or 4-0 by City, but you could have some kind of that confidence in your or you could say your heart may be saying that confidence because we are actually turning up in big games. Ole can actually turn up in big games, which isn't the case this season because they have been drawing against all the top 6 teams. Chelsea twice 0-0 draw, Arsenal has been beaten once and then draw again, then Liverpool now the 0-0 draw, Spurs a 6-1 defeat. So it's always going to be under the radar or underwhelming performances this season against the top 6. So this game is nothing different, and this could be actually the worst game to play because Manchester City are in a 21 game winning streak and we are actually yet to score a goal in the past 3 games. So it is always going to be difficult how Maguire Lindelof is going to cope up with this shit, and how they can come up with actual valuable points. To start with the lineups, the Edinson Cavani wasn't there, and Anthony Martial was expected to miss the derby because of a late fitness test, and he was actually there in the lineup. Probably that was actually a forced one or something, we don't know, but it is actually good to see Anthony Martial in the lineup because we don't have any other striker. May that be his dip in form, and Rashford in the left and then Daniel James on the right, or you could say yes, it happened, and Greenwood in the bench, and Donny van de Beek is injured. So Fred and McTominay in the midfield as usual, Lindelof and Maguire and Bissaka and Luke Shaw, and De Gea has traveled to Spain to see his newborn baby. So Henderson starts today. It's been a good test for Henderson to how he copes up with this big match situation. So it's a good start for him. It will be a big test for him too. So it's a valuable lineup and pretty expected lineup. You could have actually argued about Greenwood in that James position. So it was actually a good one too from Ole because Greenwood is actually in the bench and you can't rely on him in that right hand side. James can actually offer pace in the counter attack. The basic thing was to sit back and press them as much as we can. The front four actually pressing very well. Daniel James running first, like Rashford can use his pace. Bruno Fernandes can be a bit more problematic in pressing the centre backs. Ruben Diaz and John Stones are actually in one of their form of their life in this Manchester City shirt, and they have been becoming one of those league's best partnership, you could say, in this 2020-21 Premier League season. So it's always going to be a tough time to deal with them, how they distribute the ball, how they are calm under pressure. João Cancelo and Zinchenko was selected today. So it was always a test. So sit back and try to press them up to their throat and win the ball and try to counter attack and use that Rashford pace and Daniel James, Anthony Martial as well. So it was a plan. Straight away, Cancelo's throw is intercepted and we get a chance to counter. Rashford, Martial goes in the penalty box and 5 of the defenders and Gabriel Jesus clearly kicks Anthony Martial within 33 seconds. What can be one of the biggest, or you could say brightest of starts for Manchester United. It's a clear penalty foul by Gabriel Jesus on Martial, and Bruno Fernandes, cool and composed, blast the net, slashed it in that right hand side of the goalie, and he got his hand but couldn't keep it out. So it was a great start for Manchester United and a dream start we couldn't have imagined. We obviously would have actually guessed for a tough game that's been coming into the pocket, and we would have actually struggle in the midfield battle, or you could say in the defending side, because how Harry Maguire and Lindelof being a bit more 50-50, then actually we have a start like this, we have that confidence built up, and we were actually rolling in that confidence in the first 10 to 15 minutes with City having possession. But we were actually happy to let them have the possession because we have those players like Aaron Wan-Bissaka who doesn't let Sterling dribble past him, and then Luke Shaw is actually so good, and Real Madrid has to have some bit of a quality to pass Luke Shaw, and Harry Maguire was brilliant in the air as well. So it was actually a day for Anthony Martial to come back to his best, because if we remember the previous Etihad game where Anthony Martial did play, where Martial, Marcus Rashford, Daniel James were actually so deadly in the counter attack, and we were actually ruining the defenses, and they were actually so scared to face us. And this time it's the different Martial, because they have a dip in form, and this is actually the right time to get back in control, because this is actually a big game and we need these players to actually step up. May that be Anthony Martial, may that be Marcus Rashford, may that be Daniel James, who actually is in a good form, so he can put that good form here too and can help as much as possible. So these are the chances mainly for Anthony Martial, and he was absolutely brilliant today. And it was actually shocking, because when the lineup was announced, Anthony Martial, when he was seen in the lineup, people were actually thinking so negatively that Manchester City would actually batter us, and Anthony Martial we couldn't do anything in attack, but he was actually so brilliant. His hold-up play was brilliant, and his dribbling past and everything was brilliant. And maybe you could argue about his man of the match performances, some of them could make him a man of the match, but for me the man of the match performer should be Luke Shaw, the player of our month, MUFC player of the month. Luke Shaw has to be the man of the match, and he was actually brilliant. A good throw by Dean Henderson, and Luke Shaw bursts forward from halfway line till then, and Rashford feeds Luke Shaw, and he hits it one-time shot between the legs of Rodri, and it's 2-0. Now imagine, you wouldn't have thought about that 2-0 scoreline, would you? Because that is actually so frustrating for the Ole outers, because they have been trying and waiting for this chance to actually blame Ole again and discredit him for what he has been doing, and the players who has been not actually performing in big games. We had almost like 8 attempts in the opposition area and 6 on target, and we did score 2 goals. So Manchester City did have almost around 20 to 25 attempts, and they still had equal number of shots on target as Manchester United. So that says that we were actually defending very well, and we were actually so organized at the back, and it was so difficult to get through defense actually for Sterling, for you could say for Kevin De Bruyne, for Riyad Mahrez. So it was difficult. So the next job after the 2-0 was to defend very well, because if we even actually concede 1 goal, it would be easy and we would be actually under pressure, because Manchester City would want more and actually want to draw this game, because a draw would be so good for them, because we are actually in a struggling state, and we did draw against Crystal Palace, and Leicester are actually touching us, and they were second in the table. And if we would win, then we could go to the second place, and they are actually keeping tabs on us, and it would be a problem, because you can't expect Leicester to actually drop points, because they are actually in a good form now. So you need to win these games, and this has actually become a must-win game for us. So before the game, if you could say that this is actually a must-win and we need to win, people will be laughing at us, because Manchester City are in a terrific form, man. Actually a terrific form. So you could expect us to drop points, and when we actually win those points very, very comfortably, it is actually a good game to watch. It automatically becomes a good game and a good performance by all the players. So if you like the video, please hit that like button, and if you're yet to subscribe, please hit that subscribe button. Share this to all the Manchester United fans, because they deserve to be, having this Sunday sorted, because this is actually that Sunday with a Peter Drury and Jim Beglin commentary, which you need to enjoy, and Manchester United fans, and actually myself have enjoyed it and played it again and again. Those highlights has been one of those recently watched things in my tab list, and I've been doing it again and again. I'll be watching it from other TVs too, because that's so fascinating. I could watch it all time long. These Manchester derbies in the Etihad has been very, very good for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, and Pep Guardiola has been scratching his head for the whole time in this Ole's reign as a manager, and it is gonna be difficult in the future, because if we have some reinforcements coming in, and we could be actually challenging for title. So Pep, sort this out, because we are coming for you, we are coming for your head. And this is actually the good Sunday that we have been mentioning. Also a good Sunday because Liverpool lost to Fulham, and that is followed by a Manchester derby win for Manchester United. Paint with red. So we'll be meeting in the next video. Until then, stay home, stay safe. Goodbye.